Good morning, everybody. Welcome. How's everyone today? Phil here live on the stream, welcoming you to the first of two gameplay streams for this Sunday, May 24th, 2020. This glorious Sunday. Oh, boy. Well, today, in reality, today is actually a pretty big day. For a couple of reasons. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. First of all, I hope that you're all doing well. I hope that you're having a great weekend, no matter what you may be doing, where you may be, whatever state of lockdown you're in, right? Hopefully things are going well for you and you're having a good time this weekend, okay? I'm doing all right. It's been a great weekend with streaming. Good progress in all the games I've been playing. We've had a lot of chill fun on the late streams. Last night was no exception. Morrowind, actually, last few sessions has been quite good. Been having a ton of fun with Morrowind recently. And last night we did a lot of the Thieves Guild stuff, and I actually leveled up my lockpicking and sneaking skills a lot. A lot of fun. Keep in mind, anything that you guys miss out on, you can always get caught up over on DSPGaming on YouTube. That's why I maintained the channel as an archive of all of my live streams. So if you happen to miss out on something that was really neat or fun this week, you can still head over there and catch it at your own leisure. Your own pace, your own speed, as they say, right? So let's talk a little bit, everyone. Let's talk about what we're doing today, first of all, because I do feel that today is going to be a great streaming day. So what's the deal? I'll tell you what the deal is. Today, we're finishing 2 games in one stream. All right? There's been 2 ongoing playthroughs that I've been kind of juggling, honestly. Back and forth for the last couple of weeks. The first is Banjo-Tooie, the classic retro N64 platformer from the era of the Nintendo 64 that I have been playing on and off. Excuse me. I just got a tickle in my throat. That I've been playing on and off for the greater part of, about 3 weeks now. I would say probably the entire month of May. I can't remember exactly when I started it, if it was late April or early May, but it's been a great playthrough. I've been telling you guys the entire time I've been playing Banjo-Tooie that I very much enjoyed the playthrough way more than Donkey Kong 64. Like Donkey Kong 64, the entire time I played it, it just felt like a chore. This game feels like it's very fun. It's cool to go through these worlds and solve these crossover puzzles that involve characters from various different worlds, interacting and stuff. It's really neat. And even though, yes, there is backtracking once you get new abilities and the like, it never feels like ultra tedious like it did at every waking moment that I was playing Donkey Kong 64. Okay? So I had a lot of fun so far with Banjo-Tooie, and we're in the end game right now. Like, we've completed World 8. World 9 was just a quiz, which we aced, with epic fashion, by the way. I guessed the final answer without seeing the question at the very last minute with 0 seconds on the clock, and I beat it, which was insane, but that's par for the course for me with this kind of stuff. Somehow I luck out. So all we have left is the big conclusion. I'm not exactly sure what is the end of this game. Is it a big epic boss fight? You would think so, because Banjo-Kazooie had a big epic boss fight, so you would think there would be probably a big epic boss fight at the end of Banjo-Tooie, but I'd run out of time. Last time that I played, I had completely run out of time to continue on with the playthrough. So I was like, all right, what we'll do is, since it seems like we're at the very end, we'll just do this as a night stream. And originally that was going to be tonight's late stream, was just going to be Banjo-Tooie. And if I wrapped it up and had extra time, I was going to just kind of hang out with you guys, and do some Q&A or whatever. But then, yesterday, I was playing Daymare, in 1998. And I was in the midst of Chapter 3. Which, holy shit, talk about a few pacing issues. Chapter 3 is like 80% of this game. Because I've been playing Chapter 3 of this game since 2 streams before. And you know what I mean? Like, it's basically Chapter 3 is like 6 hours long. And then the rest of the chapters are all like an hour long. So, I don't know what happened there. I mean, by the way, I'm not saying Chapter 3 is bad. It's not. Chapter 3 is good. It's fun. But it was just kind of weird that happened. I have no idea. No idea why that happened. But anyway, we got all the way into Chapter 5 yesterday, okay? And I only played Chapter 5 for maybe 10 minutes, okay? And from what people were telling me, again, they're like, well, Phil, technically, you're at the end of the game here. If you were to, do another stream, like a night stream, you're definitely going to beat the game. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. So now I've got the final boss fight and credits and an ending of Banjo-Tooie. And we've got the final chapter, plus maybe if there's a final boss fight and conclusion of Daymare, what are we going to do here? So I decided that instead of doing several night streams that are going to drag out the endings of these games for a long-ass time, instead what we would do is very simply do a stream today where we would try to finish up as much as we possibly could. All right? And that's what we're doing. So we're going to start off with Daymare. And I don't know how much is left. I know we're in the final chapter. That doesn't necessarily mean that, we're going to be beating it anytime soon. At the same time, I'm hoping we'll beat it within, say, an hour to 2 hours, The way I'm allotting time here today is basically if we have 2 hours, it should be more than enough to beat either game. See what I mean? I really thought the final boss fight of Banjo-Tooie is going to take 2 hours, So we're going to start with Daymare. We're going to finish it up. We're going to swap over. And we're going to finish up Banjo-Tooie. Now, shouldn't be too much of an issue swapping between games. It's simply just swapping between consoles, which is not a big deal at all. Excuse me. But, if we have extra time, which we very well may at this point, if we have extra time at the end of this session, what I will do is kind of hang out with you guys and just kind of chill. We'll talk. We'll have a little bit of a open discussion session of just kind of having fun hanging out rather than worrying too much about gameplay or whatever. At that point, we'll have beaten 2 games on the stream. I don't think we have to worry about having enough gameplay for one session, right? So it should be good. And I hope you guys are ready for a variety stream like that, okay? Now, this changes the schedule for later tonight because originally, like I said, later tonight I was going to do Animal Crossing. Then I changed it up and said, okay, no Animal Crossing. Instead, we'll do the conclusion of Banjo. Well, now Banjo is going to be on this stream, so now we're going back to the original schedule. It's going to be a chill stream of Animal Crossing. Okay? I know it's been very confusing these last few days, and I apologize for that. But it definitely will be a fun day of streaming regardless, okay? Tomorrow, it's my last consecutive streaming day of the week. And what that means is that I will be streaming Minecraft as the main gameplay stream, okay? Big stream of Minecraft where I'll be taking an opportunity to continue on with the projects I've been working on, such as the villager spawner. We'll probably do more work on the Greco-Roman structure as well. And, of course, my Minecraft stream, one of the major focuses is just chilling, just having fun, hanging out, being relaxed, having a good time. It's a good way to end my streaming week, quite frankly, to do something more relaxing than something super serious, like super development of gameplay in a playthrough or something like that, right? So that should be fun. And then tomorrow night, we're doing the opposite. Normally it would be something chill on Monday night. It's not. We're going to be doing more Modern Warfare 2 remastered on the Monday night stream. And for those who were not here the other day, I'm playing it on hardened, and man, it is way more difficult than the standard difficulty of that game. It's like 2 times harder with infinitely spawning enemies who all have sniping positions on you and everything. It's pretty crazy because I remember my original playthrough, I was like turboing through the stages, and except for the stage that I'm on now, which is the one where you're going through the American town, like a suburb, and you have to go through the streets that are like fast food restaurants and stuff, and you're being invaded by Russia, and so you have to basically fight off all these Russian invading troops. That stage is pretty tough. I remember first you had to go through all the streets, and then later on you have to go through this residential neighborhood area, and it gets pretty tough with having to take cover and everything. But outside of that, I know the rest of it I kind of turboed through and didn't really have much issue with it. But because I'm playing it on hardened, it's like way tougher. and it really kicked my ass. Like, it kicked my ass. I was raging. Of course, people like that. So I know that's what's going to kind of happen again on Monday night. I don't know if we're even going to beat it. Like, I thought, oh, 2 night streams will be able to beat this campaign because it's only like 4 to 5 hours long. But now I'm kind of wondering, will I even beat it tomorrow, or will we have to do a 3rd stream? Which very potentially could happen if I get my butt kicked again, okay? So we'll see what happens here. Monday night. Now, in addition to everything I just mentioned, guys, we're currently at Vest Streak 96, okay? That means we have 4 more to go. And if we hit 100 Vest Streaks in a row, that means that Wednesday is going to be... wow, excuse me. I didn't even feel that burp coming. Holy shit. I'm sorry. That was gross. Let's try that again. That means that Wednesday, all right, will be the big 100 Vest celebration. All right? That means that we will be doing very special things on Wednesday's first stream of 2. First of all, it's not even going to be considered a gameplay stream. I don't even know if I'm going to be doing gameplay on that stream. All right? The way I see it is it's going to be a celebration. First of all, we're going to be hanging out, having fun, talking, reminiscing about I'm sure we'll talk about current events and many different topics like that. But in addition to that, we're just going to be talking about my history as a content creator and, just treating it as kind of a very chill thing. All right? It's going to be the return of DSP Tries It. At one point during that stream, I'm going to have food delivered, and it's going to be, pizza from Papa John's, but I'm actually going to be doing what is it called? The Papadilla, I think it's called, where it's a new sandwich type that they do at Papa John's. So I'm going to be doing that as a live episode of DSP Tries It, a one-off episode. No, it's the series is not returning full-time. Some people already asked me that. Is it coming back full-time? No. This is a special thing for the 100 Vest celebration. So we're going to be doing that live. Jasper will be joining us at some point. I'll have him come in. We'll play with him for a little bit, so you guys could see him for a while. One of the segments I'm going to be doing on the show is we're going to go through my remixes, the old school 10-year-old music remixes, and we're going to watch the music videos for these together live, and I'm going to react to these videos and give you like behind-the-scenes commentary and on what exactly is in those videos and what it means. Like, for example, there's a few from really old playthroughs that I'd like to watch back with you guys to reminisce about those playthroughs. And in particular, there's one about Dark Souls that's really good. Like, the music video for that one is so good that I want to watch it live with you guys, just kind of laugh together with it. It's going to be fun. All right, so that's going to be a big segment of the show, going through that. Among other things, whatever you guys feel like doing. If you want to see me play some games, like do some Call of Duty Warzone, or do some old school Street Fighter or whatever. It's basically a stream where we don't have to commit to anything. It's not like, oh, we're definitely doing this and that. We just have fun. All right? In addition, there may be a debut of something new. That's all I'm going to say. There may be a debut of something new on this special 100 Vest celebration stream, depending on how stuff goes. All right? So we'll see. But it's going to be a fun, celebratory session. All right? On Wednesday. I hope you guys will be here for the big Vest celebration if we hit it. We have to hit the Vest streak. We have to continue this Vest streak up today and tomorrow on both streams to hit the 100 Vest streak. And if we do, then Wednesday will be the big celebration. All right. Wednesday night, I have no idea what we're doing because it really depends on what happens with Modern Warfare Remastered. Like I said, if I beat it Monday night, well, then obviously Wednesday night, I just need to do something different. What would it be? I don't know. It could be Animal Crossing. It could be, something random. I don't really know what I want to do Wednesday night yet. We'll have to wait and see. Do I need another session of Modern Warfare Remastered or not in order to beat the game? Okay, so that's kind of... I'm limited there on what I can promise you guys I'm doing until I know, do we need more time for that or not? All right. And then the rest of the week should be super fun because it's going to be all new content. We're going to have Mortal Kombat 11's Aftermath DLC premiering on Thursday, and I'm going to probably pair that with Animal Crossing. On Friday, we're going to have the premiere of, yes, ladies and gentlemen, finally, this Friday, it's the premiere of Fire Emblem. I know. People have been waiting for Fire Emblem Three Houses for a long time. And they wanted to see me play it last year, and I didn't play it. And then they wanted to see me play it this year, and I didn't play it. And then finally, it got voted in as the second place game in the Viewer's Choice voting. But we had to play the first place game first, which is Banjo-Tooie, which we're finishing today. And so finally, this Friday, Fire Emblem Three Houses on the Switch will premiere on my stream, okay? Friday night, we're doing Throwback Street Fighter. And so that means Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be, again, more Mortal Kombat and more Fire Emblem. And then Monday will be Minecraft and whatever. So there you go. It's going to be a fun streaming week, all right? Now, one thing I've said, and I'm gonna say this again. I kind of firmly believe that coming up, this 100 vest streak will be the end of the streak. I'm very appreciative that you guys have been so supportive. And by the way, I'm not taking for granted that we're going to hit 100 vest streak. It's very possible now we're in the last couple of days, and we could not hit it. It's every single day it's possible that we could not hit the streak. And I know that, and I hope you guys understand that. I'm not taking it for granted. I'm very grateful for the insane amount of positivity in the last 2 months now that you guys are giving me on the streams and the crazy amount of support that you've given me. But I firmly believe this cannot continue. Like, seriously, I firmly believe this could not. How could this possibly keep going? I just got this weird feeling that there's no way. Now, again, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be a cynical dick, which sadly, over the years I kind of tend to be. I'm just trying to be a realist, and I'm looking at the situation. I'm like, I don't know how long this could last. I can't believe it lasted 100. I would think that we're gonna do, if we hit the 100 vest streak, all right. If we hit it, we'll do this in big celebration on Wednesday. Everyone's gonna be feeling great. It's gonna be positivity out the butt. It's just gonna be super fun. And then after that, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be the end of it. And it's fine. Again, I just wanted you guys to know, it's fine if that's the case. I won't be upset when it ends. I won't be angry. Like I told you guys, I know it's going to end. It has to end. I can't believe it's gone on for almost 2 freaking months. It's insanity. Right? So we'll see. But I really get the feeling it is going to end, all right? So I guess we'll find out. But I'm just trying to be a realist here. That's me. I'm trying to have realistic expectations of, the positivity's been great and fun, and I've really appreciated it, but it's got to end some point. It's probably ending when we hit 100, okay? All right. So anyway, that's that. That's the schedule, guys. So before we move on to, say, shout-outs and some other open discussion, what I want to talk about today is, sadly, something that I thought was already taken care of, but it looks like it's rearing its ugly head again. So, as you guys know, last week, all right, there was some stupid drama on the internet. It was someone, I guess his name was what the fuck was his name? I can't even remember. Like Super Hound Dog, something incredibly stupid, all right, was basically striking down content on the internet illegally in my name. All right. He was impersonating me and going around not only on YouTube videos, but also on Twitter. And he was saying that he was me and that he had somehow the legal authority to try to take down YouTube videos, to try to take down posts on Twitter. All right. This guy did not have legal authority to do any of this. The only person who has legal authority to do this is me. Or if I had an authorized party who I legally had sign up to do it, which I don't. I don't do this, okay? I'll say this again. I don't take down content. I don't do this. I am a positive guy. I focus on positive content and putting out streams every day. That's it. I don't sit here flagging videos. I don't sit here doing DMCA takedowns. I never have. I'm not that kind of guy, and I'm not going to do that. All right? So when I got wind that this was happening, I spoke up on the internet, on Twitter, and I said, this is not me. This guy needs to stop. And I directly contacted this guy and said, no, stop it. I don't, and he's like, well, I don't understand because I'm trying to help you out because these people are stealing your content. I'm like, listen, I don't care, what your rationale is. You're breaking the law. You have no right to impersonate me at all. All right. I don't care what whether or not you think you're white knighting or you're being some kind of a weird vigilante justice thing here. That's not your right. You know, if I want to do that, I have the legal right. It's my content. It's none of your business to be interjecting yourself into my business and my life and this situation. You need to stop. And I basically said, stop or be stopped. So at that point, this guy says, oh, well, if that's your attitude, well, I'm going to turn it on you. And for about a week, it lasted about a week, I would say, he basically falsely flagged all this shit on my Twitter, including my avatar, my channel banner, a bunch of posts that had, no lie, pictures, GIFs, you know, that were approved in the Twitter app to be used in the Twitter app for posting. You know, like a thumbs up moving GIF or something. He was just striking everything down. And Twitter's system is so fucking broken that they granted all the takedowns. I mean, it was like, I'm serious, it was like 10 of them. It was insane. It was just stupidity at how many of these things hit my account. Okay? Every single one, I issued a DMCA counterclaim and said, these are all false. Here's public posts this idiot made saying he was going to do this. So I don't understand how you could grant this with zero verification. What kind of a broken system do you have? And by the way, if there's any kind of, you know, actual concrete hurt that happens to myself or my business because of this, you'll be legally responsible because you granted false claims without actually verifying a damn thing. Well, first of all, basically everyone kind of banded together and flagged this guy's Twitter channel saying, look what this guy's doing. So Twitter did close his original Twitter channel down. And then it took a week, no lie, a fucking week. But finally, after a week, Twitter reviewed my counterclaims and said, oh yeah, they're all false, and reversed everything and gave me everything back, including my avatar, my channel banner, all the posts, etc. Okay? So it was a mess for about a week, really messy there. But it all got cleared up. All right? And the funny thing is, I would almost guarantee this guy, that wasn't where he stopped. More than likely, this guy probably flagged my YouTube channel. He probably tried to do everything. But the thing is, I've been there, done that. My YouTube channel has had false flags a million times in the past, to the point now where YouTube knows that this happens. And so when they get false claims like that, they actually use due diligence to look into them. They don't just grant the blanket claim anymore, because I've had so many issues with trolls over the years. And that's a great thing. It's good to know that, at least in that regard, YouTube has learned. YouTube is not just going to strike down my channel because of a piece of fan art or because of nonsense like this. They've kind of learned their lesson, you know, with the shit that's happened to me over the years. So thank God, you know, that didn't happen. But it was really annoying that the Twitter got affected the way that it did. Okay? But anyway, everything's been kind of quiet. And that's good. I haven't heard anything about any more impersonations or whatever. Nothing. All of a sudden last night, I get another tweet. Now, I don't know if this is legit or not. It could be very well just some asshole trying to stir shit up or trying to cause drama. All right? But basically, I get a tweet from, again, someone whose name is like Superhound Media. Okay? So it's a different account. It's a new account. And it says, just so you know, Phil, I'm going to start striking down content in your name again. Ha ha ha. Okay? Now, considering the way that this guy talked originally, it sounds just like the same guy. Like, it sounds like a really immature idiot. So, again, thinks he can get away with whatever, which apparently he can, because apparently Twitter's stupid. So, I got this tweet. I'm like, that's it. I've had enough. And it's funny because I was going to sleep. I was like, I'm about to go to sleep. You know, I'm like, I just want to go to bed. And I just, like, at the last thing before I go to sleep, just reviewing stuff. And I see this. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Again? So I said, enough is enough. All right? So last night, last night, I posted something up on Twitter. And I hope that this is going to help people moving forward who have issues with this kind of thing in regards to people impersonating me. All right? I posted up a legal statement on Twitter. Okay? And the statement basically, in a nutshell, it says, I, Phil Burnell, am the owner of DSPGaming on YouTube, the owner of Darkside Phil on Twitch, and the owner of the @TheyCallMeDSP account on Twitter. And I hereby state that I'm not issuing any DMCA takedowns at all until further notice. And I dated it May 24th, 2020. All right. Now, some people are, well, why did Phil do that? Why is he so concerned about this? No one's accusing him of doing this anymore. Well, that's not the point. I didn't post that up to prove my innocence. I posted that up to help people who are now struggling with idiots impersonating me, whether it's on Twitter or Twitch or YouTube, wherever. Now, you have an actual Twitter post that I dated and essentially signed digitally that says, I didn't do this. Use this as your evidence that it's not me. Okay? And so hopefully, if anyone gets any kind of a false claim or a false strike or anything against them, they can now just say, here's the tweet that proves it's not Phil and this is all bogus, right? Now, in the future, if anything does change, like let's say there is some kind of insanely huge malicious party out there or something that's fucking with me, then what I would do is I would actually get a lawyer involved and I would have someone legally, work on getting it resolved. I wouldn't just do frivolous DMCA takedown requests because I know they don't work anyway. The whole system of the DMCA takedown request is ludicrous. All it does, it creates annoyance. It makes a piece of content get flagged and taken down temporarily. It doesn't take anything down permanently. The only way you can actually get something permanently taken down off the internet is by suing someone. That's it. All these other stupid requests are completely frivolous nonsense that wastes everybody's time. But admittedly, it's annoying as fuck. Okay, that this happens, and I don't want anyone being affected by it, because guess what? I've been affected by it in the past. I know how fucking annoying it is, and no one deserves to have their stuff taken down by some dipshit troll who wants to impersonate me. All right, so I'm laying down the law. I hope that Twitter post is going to be enough to help people clear up ongoing issues in the future without me having to get directly involved. That's the other thing, too. Like, you realize I can't be directly involved in this every time, especially if this guy is, like, mass flagging people. I can't sit here and say, no, that wasn't me, no, that wasn't me, no, that wasn't me, no, that wasn't me. How long am I going to do this, right? So, hopefully, this will help to, resolve some of that and not have it be this stupid ongoing issue of this moron doing it over and over and over. Okay, I hope. I mean, maybe it won't do shit, but at least at this point, the way I feel is this. All right. In reality, I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to make a single post. I didn't have to interject myself into the situation at all. I was trying to do the right thing in this situation. All right. So sadly, if this continues and there's no resolution, at least I tried, right? At least I gave it a shot. But now at least I kind of feel like I did my due diligence to try to clear up these erroneous issues because I knew they existed. And sadly, if they continue, they continue. But at least I did what I could to try to be helpful. And now I can say, at least I can be okay with myself and feel all right with myself that, all right, at least I did the right thing here. Even though, let's be honest here. The people whose content is getting flagged, these are not nice people. These are not people who are nice to me. These are very malicious parties who have, tried very much to hurt me concretely over the years with the content they've put out. But I don't it doesn't matter what the content is, I don't believe in the process of impersonating someone and having false takedowns, period. I just don't believe in it. It's happened to me too many times to let other people get away with it. Okay? So, that's that. And again, I didn't do this to try to defend myself because I thought I was under attack and people were accusing me of it. I say quite the opposite. I don't think at this point anyone actually thought it was me. I think at this point people kind of knew that this is some asshole impersonating me, and just trying to get malicious stuff done. It is to get attention. Just like everything else on the internet. They're just trying to get attention for themselves. And this is the only way that they can do it, right? So that's why I did it. I really genuinely hope that posting that up, someone will be able to use that effectively as a defense and say, listen, any claim that I got against me is false. This is bullshit. I hope it gets cleared up. Because I want it to be cleared up. I don't want this fucking bullshit to continue. It has to end. Why does Twitter have such an insanely broken system by which anyone can impersonate anyone and no one checks it? Like, seriously, why? It's just insanity. Where on this earth, what corporation, a major corporation, allows people to do actual legal processes on the honor system? Because that's exactly what it is. It's the honor system. Oh, we're just going to take you at your word that you are who you say you are with zero verification at all, and actually strike down other people's legal content because the honor system. It's like, where the fuck do you think you live? Do you think you live on, like, Venus? A different planet? You know what I mean? This is insanity. This is Earth. We have people who are malicious. We have people who are dishonorable, who are immoral, who are criminals, who want to get away with breaking the law. All right? Why do you think that the honor system, really? Oh, again, can you imagine any other company operating with an honor system? But this is what Twitter does, apparently. It's an honor system. Oh, yeah, I trust that you are who you say you are. Right. Can you imagine if a bank operated on an honor system? So you walk into a bank. Yeah, hi. You know, I'm Jeff Bezos, and I'd like to withdraw all of my money today, please. Oh, okay, sir. Well, we're just going to trust you. We don't need any verification of who you actually are. Here's all your money in a bag. Oh, gee, thanks. The bag's the size of Mount Rushmore, because that's how much money I have. Thanks very much. Right? Like, what the fuck? What is going on? Any other business, this wouldn't happen. But because it's internet based, right? Anything that's on the internet is still, to this day, it's still like the Wild West. You know what I mean? Because internet based, we don't take it seriously, and we just grant anything. What is going on? Why is it that this is the case? It's just ludicrous to me that we're in 2020 and shit like this can go down. But you gotta understand, think about that. A major company, how much money do they make? And this is how they treat their business. They think it's like, oh, that's acceptable. It's kind of the same thing with YouTube. I've said this many times. YouTube is completely automated. They have very few humans who actually review anything. I'm lucky to have been in a situation where I had so many false flags in the past against my channel that now they technically review everything against my channel. Okay? But, you know what I mean? Like, it's just insane and wild that there's major corporations, the honor system. Yeah, we just trust that humans are good people and wouldn't impersonate someone else. So if you just put in that flag, we're just going to immediately take the content down. And I'm sorry. Hey, listen, I'm no legal authority. I'm not a legal authority. But I have to think there has to be some legal ramification for taking down someone's content without any evidence of wrongdoing. Like, why do we feel that why can you just take down my shit without any evidence of wrongdoing? Isn't it in the United States of America, we have a legal system that states you are innocent until proven guilty, right? I mean, am I wrong here? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't, but that's what I heard, that's what I was taught when I was growing up. That in the United States, it's you're innocent until proven guilty, and we should be very happy that this is our system, because in other countries, people don't have those rights. In other countries, it's like, you have to now, the burden is on you to now prove your innocence, right? The burden is not on the state to prove your guilt. The burden is on you to prove your innocence. And that's a scary fucking thought. That really is a scary thought, because that means at any moment, someone could make shit up about you that's completely false, and you now have to somehow prove that it's not. You know what I mean? But in the U.S., it's supposed to be different. It's supposed to be, in the United States, innocent until proven guilty, so you don't have to worry about this shit. So why? Why then do we have these online businesses that allow a complete opposite? I'm stumped on this fact. I don't understand it. I don't know how it's allowed, how it's legal. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is illegal. It is legal, and I just don't get it. But why would a practice stand for the whole legal system, but not for private business? I don't get it. But I guess that's that. I can't really argue any further. I'm not a legal authority. Maybe our buddy Nick, Recchietta, or however the heck you say his name, maybe he'd be able to argue this better, because he probably knows way better than me, because I don't understand it, and I'm just stumped as how these fuckers can do this and get away with it. And how Twitter, how YouTube, how any of that, how can they legally get away with acting like this and striking down content and removing it without legal proof that there's a wrongdoing? I just don't understand it. So, I don't know. But anyway. Anyway, that's just my take on the subject. And hopefully, what I've done, putting out this statement on Twitter, is enough to, to say, okay, we're okay now. It's not that big of a, you're covered now. I just don't want people getting into trouble as a result of this idiot when it wasn't me. You know what I mean? That's my major concern, is people getting stuff taken down, which is not fair in any way, shape, or form, to have your stuff, taken down off the internet when I didn't do it. Even if it's negative stuff towards me, I'm so 1,000,000,000% against this practice of a false takedown, because of it happening so many times to me, that I absolutely refuse to allow it to happen to anybody else. And that's that. That's my stance. That's the stance I take, and that's why I've done what I've done. And hopefully it does help. All right? So anyone who's suffering from this, I certainly hope what I did, you can use that as evidence to try to get the issue cleared up for yourself, and that it's not some ongoing annoying issue for you. Okay? Fair enough? Alrighty then. Alright. So guys, once again, I am not going to be doing a formal lengthy stream here today, pre-stream. I'm not going to be doing plugs. I'm just going to, now what we're going to do, we're going to jump into the shout-outs. But I hope that you guys would understand that, contributions are appreciated. Contributions keep stuff going around here. Please understand that contributions are not mandatory. You don't need to contribute to my stream. It is not required. And I'm not trying to, coerce anyone into contributions. But that they very much, crowdfunding is what keeps me going. All right? And please consider contributing if you like the content. Okay? All right. Moving on. Let's get to shoutouts, shall we? Alrighty then. Let's get to shoutouts here on the stream. We started off today with BattleDuck9000, who resubscribed for 39 months. Thank you much, BattleDuck9000. I appreciate that very much, your contribution, and your ongoing support, by the way, because you've been a long time subscriber, and it's really awesome of you, so thank you for that. And wait a minute, my thing's screwed up. Like my freaking thing's screwed up. Great. Don't tell me I have to refresh it again. Seriously, don't tell me I have to refresh it again. All right, hold on. All right, here we go. Sorry. Things. It's so frustrating. Okay. I got it loaded. By the way, I got to turn on my air conditioner because I've had it off the whole time, and now it's 80 degrees in here, and I don't want to start sweating. All right. Lucifer Soul has cheered. The first cheer of the day. 100 bits. He says, can you make a pre-stream very long and repeat the entire YouTube drama while on top reminiscing on a Young Phil throwback story? No, I really don't care about the YouTube drama shit anymore. I talked about it a few times this week, and that's enough for me. I'm well aware that apparently these guys are still at war. And I actually said this in the stream chat earlier. I said, these guys are going to be the death of themselves. Like, they're so hyper-focused on drama and cancel culture, because that's how they operate. Like, that's what they do. They report these drama stories, and they turn it into cancel culture shit, right? And it's so heavy that they're going to end up killing each other off. You know what I mean? They're going to destroy each other's sponsors. They're going to destroy each other, like, systematically from the ground up. So, I've said my piece on it. You know, how I hate drama content on YouTube. I think it's worthless. It never should have existed, never should have allowed to be created and promoted to begin with because it's too harmful to people. And that's it. You know, I don't really see the issue really talking about this shit anymore. Okay? All right. Yidden has subscribed. No, excuse me. Yidden gifted a subscription to Quad or Zero Quad Zero, however the heck you want to say their name. Okay? So, thank you, Yidden, for the gifted sub, or for the gifted sub to the channel. I appreciate that. And Quad, enjoy your sub. License for Soul then did a 200-bit cheer. Said the Almighty is here. He said this when I started talking. So thank you, License for Soul. You're the top cheer of the day with that 200-bit cheer. Crap. Alexander Rossi cheered. He says, is Twitter the main place you get breaking news about current games and events or anywhere else? I mean, yeah. I mean, social media, in reality, is pretty much the best place to get that kind of news now because you get, number one, the news stories immediately hit there and they're live and everyone's talking and retweeting about them. So you see them right away. But in addition, like, it's kind of a neutral place where you can get all these different takes on stuff. So if a game trailer comes out, I can see people who really like it and people who don't like it and their reasonings why. If a news story comes out, I can usually see either a neutral perspective or different perspectives on it. Versus if you're like, oh, I only go to CNN, so then you only get the left spin on everything. Oh, I only go to Fox News. Well, then you only get the right spin on everything, right? You got to kind of find a neutral ground. And Twitter kind of is that because there's so many different opinions going in. You get to see the different sides of things immediately rather than having to kind of seek them out or only seeing a skewed view. And I like that a lot about social media. So really, yeah, it's kind of my feeds on Twitter and stuff is where I get my news stories and things like that. Now, by the way, Twitter is not the end-all be-all, all right? To be very frank here, there's a lot of times when Twitter gets stuff really effing wrong. Like, I've seen things trending on there that are just completely false, and then a few hours later, they're proven to be false. It's like, why did everyone believe this, right? Because people are gullible idiots. So, you got to be careful about using social media as a news source because you always have to kind of vet a story before you just hardcore believe it. You know what I mean? I've seen really stupid stories on there, or I've seen things taken out of context from that people were saying, and then they explain it as a news story, and then an hour later, it's like, no, that didn't really happen. Here's the truth, and that person's a fucking asshole for saying that, right? So, in reality, yes, I use Twitter for my news, but I also realize you got to be very skeptical on how you use that because you got to understand it's not all true, okay? Last Rambo did a 100-bit cheer. He says, since you live in Seattle now for 6 years, actually, yeah, I think it would be next month, mid to late June, would be a 6-year anniversary of me here living in Seattle. That's correct. How would you compare living there in comparison to Bridgeport? It's quite harsh to say that you hated living in Connecticut, your birthplace, and the place where you spent almost your whole life in. Yeah, but it's truthful. Like, I'm being very honest with you, all right? Here's what I didn't like about living in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Too many people in a small area. It was hard to even get from point A to point B because there was always insane traffic everywhere you went. Everywhere you went was more packed, you know. It was just overpopulated. That area of the country, that East Coast near New York City, is densely and overly populated. Compared to out here, it's way more space per person. You seriously, like, there's just way less people, way less traffic, way less stress in that regard. That's another thing. Everyone out on the East Coast is like hustle and bustle constantly. Got to get from point A to point B. Get the fuck out of my way. I only care about myself, and my agenda is more important than yours. Out here, people are way more laid back. You want to cross the street? The cars stop for you. For a pedestrian crossing the street, the cars stop. That never happened on the East Coast. It was like, you're across the street, you better be wearing fucking full-on body armor, and you better be ready to do like some crazy-ass Matrix flips and shit, because a car is going to run your ass down and turn you into a human pancake if you so much as step an inch near one. That's how different it is, that mentality, okay? Geez, what else? The weather. The weather in Connecticut was shit. In the summers, it was insanely hot and humid constantly, and then immediately would go to a cold and frigid winter, not only with snow, which would be nice if it was just snow, but sleet and ice and just the nastiest fucking dangerous weather possible. We had both extremes during the year, which is ludicrous to think, why would you have both? You're supposed to be in a hot or a cold climate. No, Connecticut had both, the worst of both worlds, okay? Out here, the weather is so much nicer. The weather itself is moderate. And what I mean by that is you will get a lot of similar weather, but it's usually middle of the road temperatures. You usually won't get extremes. We have very little snow. We do have hot summers, but not humid summers. So you can cool down by walking into the shade. Versus a hot, humid summer, you just can't cool down unless you're standing in front of a blasting air conditioner. Okay? Geez, what else? I mean, I could sit here and go into a million reasons. Here's one major reason. I don't know how much I've talked about this publicly, but the entire time that I lived in Connecticut, I felt out of place. I felt like I was a guy that was in tune with internet culture. I was a guy that was in tune with gaming. And not many of my friends in Connecticut were. Like, the only people who I knew were the Street Fighter players. And that was a small group of people in Connecticut who really played Street Fighter competitively. Outside of that group, I always felt out of place. Everyone else was into, like, constantly wanted to do outdoor physical sports. Or they wanted to go drink and party and do shit like that. And I was like, I'm not into that. I'm just into different stuff. Okay? When I was growing up, I was kind of into skater culture. I liked the look of Vans, shoes, and you wear, they would wear like cargo shorts or cargo pants and hats and riding skateboards. I actually liked that culture. No one in Connecticut was into it. Zero. No one. It was completely non-existent in Connecticut. Nobody was into that shit. It was the complete opposite. I was like, damn, like if I had grown up on the West Coast instead of the East Coast, I probably would be a skateboarding kid. You know what I mean? Like, I would be a completely different kind of a person. And I really feel that I almost felt like I was born out of place for whatever reason. My interests and everything were always, I was disassociated with the other kids and other people because I was into shit that they weren't into. That's just, I don't know. That was just always the feeling I had. Like I was the odd man out, the oddball when I lived in Connecticut. That I didn't really have much in common with the other people there. And then when I moved out here, it certainly seems out here at least people are a lot more into the kind of stuff that I'm into and stuff. Of course, I'm in my late 30s. Is that really a concern to me right now? No. But you see what I'm saying? At least there's all these benefits. I told you guys many times, there's really two things that I really miss about Connecticut. My family, meaning my parents, who I used to see all the time, and the food. Because the food in Connecticut was Italian-based. It's a very heavy population of Italians. Italian immigrants came over in the 1900s from Italy in droves to the East Coast of the United States, primarily New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. And these are the big focal points of Italian culture and Italian food. Right now, where I lived in Connecticut, I could go to 3 authentic Italian restaurants within like a 5-mile radius that all have amazing, great, top-notch Italian food. We're talking pizza, we're talking pasta, salads. You guys ever had a schizzi? Do you guys know what a schizzi is? A schizzi is a traditional Italian smorgasbord of foods that is served at the beginning of a family meal as a giant variety of appetizers. All right? We're talking eggplant. We're talking shrimp. We're talking antipasto, salad. I could bread with like bruschetta. A million things. And this is something traditional you can get in restaurants out there on the East Coast. You can't get it anywhere else. Like out here on the West Coast, these restaurants don't exist. You walk into an Italian restaurant, you say, "Can I get the schizzi?" They say, "What the fuck's a schizzi?" They don't know. That's what I mean. Like, it's very authentic out there. And I absolutely loved living there for that. But outside of that, like, there were so many things I did not like about living in Connecticut. I was so relieved to get the fuck out of there. And I'm serious about this. Like, the moment I left Connecticut, my life improved. I'm just being honest. Like, the moment I was out of there, things got better for me. In my mindset, my health, it just got better. And I'm happy to have been out of there. Seriously. So, that's the truth of the matter is, yeah, you say, why are you hating on where you grew up? Because it sucked. I'm sorry, it sucked. It's just, it's overrated. And here's why it's overrated. New York City. everywhere that's surrounding New York City gets overrated as, oh, it's like the best place to go to live because you're right there. You can go to the city whenever you want. You can hop on the train and just fly right into the city. The city, all right, New York City's nice. I'm not going to lie. I've been there many times. For tourism, for certain kinds of business, it's a really nice place to go. It really is the melting pot. You've got all these different cultures. They've got like a Chinatown, Little Italy, the Broadway district, the Park district, the actual downtown shopping district, a restaurant area. They've got really cool things. There's a zoo, Central Park Zoo. But when you've lived there as long as I did, and you've been to New York a certain amount of times, it kind of loses its attraction. You know what I mean? Like, I've been there, done that a million times. I used to go to New York. At one point, I was going to New York like every other week to go to Chinatown Fair, which was the big Street Fighter competitive arcade in New York, to play against players there, right? So I've seen the sights. I've been to the Statue of Liberty. I've been to the top of the Empire State Building. I've been in Central Park many times. I went to shows on Broadway. I've seen movies. I've eaten the pizza. I've had the roasted chestnuts off the street. It's not a big deal to me anymore. So why on earth would I live in an outskirt state or city or whatever you want to say of New York and pay way higher taxes, way higher prices for gas, a state income tax that completely rips you off and is not used to improve the state infrastructure at all? I always said the state income tax in Connecticut, the funds were completely and utterly misused. And basically, the money was pissed away because the people who were in charge there suck, okay? There's just like so many things. You're paying out the ass to live there for nothing. There's no benefit. It's not like you're living in these hills. People have this weird misconception about Connecticut that it's like this big, luxurious place to live where all the rich people live. No, that's about 1% of Connecticut is like that. It's this secluded, backed off area we're calling like Greenwich. And, you know, there's like 2 or 3 areas in Connecticut where these hyper rich people live in their giant mansions, okay, in these private, you know, blocked off communities that look like Fort Knox to get into. You got to get past private security and shit to get in it. And because they're so rich, all right, they drove up the per capita income calculations for people living in Connecticut as a state. And that's why the taxes are so high and everything. It's not a good place to live. It's just not. In my experience, I've never seen a benefit to living in Connecticut. Period. Besides the food and the fact that my family members are there, I never saw a positive reason to be there. I always wanted to get the fuck out of there. And it's hilarious because when I started traveling for Street Fighter tournaments, it was like everywhere I went, I wanted to be besides Connecticut. If I was in Texas, if I was in Chicago, if I was in California, no matter where I was like, this would be better than Connecticut. You see what I mean? So anyway, that's just the truth of the matter for me. Okay? All right, let's continue. Lice for Soul cheered. He says, "You sure it wasn't Jasper? Did you forget to feed him recently?" Well, I don't even know what that's in regards to, but thank you for the cheer, Lice for Soul. And Jasper's well fed, but he's also a smart cat and he doesn't overeat, which is good. Kill Bill cheered. He says, "Do you ever plan on Huh? Oh, then he cheered again. He says, "Sorry, my dad, do you ever plan on giving Google Stadia a chance?" The only way I would give Google Stadia a chance is if it was completely free. I'm not paying a single dollar for that thing. I knew from the get-go it wasn't going to work. I knew from the get-go it was going to end up being a disaster. And guess what? It was a disaster. Like, no lie, to a T, exactly what I said would happen happened at the launch of this thing. Nobody really likes the thing. It's kind of the joke of the gaming community. Games that were planned exclusives for this thing are failing miserably and making no money. And it's not going to last forever. In reality, the only reason that it exists still is because it's Google. Right? If Google wasn't this ginormous mega conglomerate with almost seemingly unlimited funds to throw at shit like that, all right, it definitely wouldn't exist. It would have just flopped and failed and went out of business a long time ago. So it is what it is, but I'm not doing, unless it becomes absolutely free You don't have to buy any kind of hardware or anything for it. Absolutely not. I am not going to be getting Google Stadia. That is a complete and utter waste of my money and time. Um, there's no reason to be trying to live stream every single game over the internet. It's asinine. We don't have internet that's good enough to do it. Never did. So I don't understand why people thought that we did. Well, I don't know why anyone who worked at Google actually thought that this was a good idea. They obviously didn't do any research at all into the situation and just assumed that everyone had God tier internet, which we don't. You know, just the infrastructure of the internet in the US isn't good enough for Google Stadia to work. And then keep in mind, everyone has different internet. So people have slower, faster. How are you going to sell a product that's supposed to be universally working when no one even has consistent internet in the US? Like, it's stupidity. It's 100% stupidity to think that this was going to work. Maybe in the future, maybe, 10, 20 years down the line, we all have better internet. The internet's flawless. We can easily do a million crazy things over the internet. Then maybe. But we are nowhere near having this technology work. And I don't care how smart the people at Google think they are. This is just another case of them thinking they're smarter than everyone else who was a critic. And now they've been proven false again. And that's that. Okay? Rob, tip me $5. Says, hope y'all are okay. I hope so too. First of all, Rob, thank you for the tip. I do hope that everyone out there is okay. With everything going on, obviously with the pandemic and everything. All right. Hope that everyone is safe. Hope that everyone, is in a situation where, they're able to get the things they need. I've actually been hearing from my parents recently that it's pretty bad. Like the East Coast, where they live, is like really bad. Like they're now running out of food. They're going to the store. They can't even get meat. The meat is like out everywhere they go to shop. And they're like, yeah, we have to, at this point, we're eating frozen food, which obviously isn't great. And even that's starting to run out. Like, because apparently, again, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut were like one of the ginormous hotbeds for the coronavirus because of New York City being the big focal point and people spreading it from there. And they're like, yeah, it's bad. Now, the thing is, my parents don't really need to go out that much. My dad can now work from home, which is great, because at first he didn't. And I was like, Dad, you got to understand, man, you're getting up there in age. You can't be going out in this fucking thing all the time. But his company changed where he's working from home now. So that's a great thing. And now I'm concerned they keep telling me there's no cleaning products at all. Nothing to clean anything. So my dad's resorted like buying solutions off of the internet and trying to make like his own cleaning solutions. Because you can't even buy a cleaning product on the East Coast anymore. They don't exist. It's like, he's like, yeah, I go to the store, and I'm not even kidding you. Like, even when I go in the morning, because keep in mind, my dad's of the age where he can actually get in, early to these stores because they open early for senior citizens or whatever. And he goes in there, and he's like, there's nothing in there. I'm just basically getting as much as I can every week to buy stuff so we can eat, but there's nothing in these stores. He's like, I don't know when they're going to restock or what the hell's going on, but this is screwed up. And I'm like, damn, that's terrible. Out here, it's the opposite. Out here, we're good. Like, we've actually gotten to the point where everything pretty much for the most part is stocked now. You could get whatever you need. From what I'm going to understand, out here in Washington State, they've actually finally lifted the restrictions. Remember I told you guys for like a month or two there, they were saying you can't buy whatever you want. There's limited to buy one or two of each item. Apparently they lifted all that now. Now you can just buy whatever you want again, because I guess they feel that the stock has been replenished enough that, anyone can just buy what they want and no one's going to run out. So, I mean, I guess that's a good sign, right? But on the East Coast, apparently, it's the complete and utter opposite. Like, there's nothing out there and everyone's like really concerned. So, depending on where you guys are, I wish you all the best. I hope that everyone is doing okay in this crazy pandemic. I hope that things get back to normal sooner rather than later for everyone. Rob, I thank you for the tip. I certainly hope, Rob, that you're doing well. I know that you're in a different situation possibly than we are. So I hope that you're doing well as well. And thank you for getting the tipping started today. You're actually the first tipper of the stream today here. So thank you for that. Oh, so actually, I should probably put Rob on the leaderboard, huh? I talked that whole time and I didn't put him on the leaderboard. Duh. Okay, let's do it. If I can get my keyboard to work. There we go. Very nice. Golden Nobles is here, and Golden Nobles just tipped $20. Thank you very much, Golden Nobles. Very generous tip here to get stuff going today. Ah, crap. There we go. Thank you, Golden Nobles. That jumps us up to $25 tips. And then I received a $1 tip from the Otaku Fan. And the Otaku Fan says the following. What would be your favorite bosses in the Soulsborne games and worst bosses as well? I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer. I think everyone agrees. And maybe they don't. But I would think that everyone would agree that Bed of Chaos is probably one of the worst designed bosses in gaming history. Like, it's not even a boss. All you do is hit 2 weak points on the sides, dodge a bunch of holes in the fucking floor, hope you don't get randomly fucking swatted by a giant arm that's completely undodgeable, run down into a stupid pit in the middle of the floor, and then run up and stab a bug. Like, it's just a really stupid fucking boss that shouldn't even be in the game. You can tell they probably had a different idea, and for whatever reason didn't get implemented properly, so instead you get this really annoying boss. Okay? I would say, outside of that, any boss that basically has like a glitchy or randomness element. I hate that. I like, if you're going to play a game that's going to be super difficult, alright, super duper difficult, you need to have consistency. You need to have a situation where that boss can be, you can learn a pattern and you can implement a way to counter that pattern through trial and effect and through experience. Now, okay, I fought the boss this time and it worked this way, but then when I went back, something random happened and it didn't work. So now, you know what I mean? Like, that's the most annoying shit in gaming, when you're going to have something that's difficult, but there's no real effective way to learn how to beat it. Alright? So I don't know how many bosses in Dark Souls you could equate to that, but just think about the different bosses in Dark Souls. That's what I say would be annoying. By the way, I could say most bosses in Dark Souls aren't like that, and that's a great thing that they're not. Okay? I would say one of my favorite bosses from the entire Dark Souls franchise was Champion Gundyr. Even though Champion Gundyr completely and utterly fucking destroyed me. Alright? Like, just demolished me. I would say that Champion Gundyr was a super fair boss. He had a pattern that could be learned and a pattern that could be countered. Especially if you have a build that's appropriate to countering said boss. If you had the bad luck like I did the first time I fought him, I had a build that wasn't very good against the attack patterns of this boss. That's really what kind of screwed me over with him. But the second time around that I got the Champion Gundyr, in my second run of Dark Souls 3, I had fun with the boss because I had a build that could actually deal damage to him. I was fast enough to dodge his attacks, and it ended up being a fun boss fight. Even the first time around, when he destroyed me for like 3 hours. When I finally beat him, I said, yes, that pissed me off, but that was a fair boss and I liked it. You know? So there you go. Now, some people would say, what about Ludwig? That was the boss that really irked you in Bloodborne. Not really. And what I mean by that is, I don't feel that Ludwig was an unfair boss. I feel that what happened was, I jumped into a too highly scaled difficulty with that DLC. Didn't I play it on New Game Plus or whatever? Like, I didn't just play it on normal. I played it on New Game Plus. And keep in mind, I hadn't played Bloodborne all year, while a lot of people had been doing New Game Plus runs and second and third runs of Bloodborne and stuff during the course of that year when the game came out. I hadn't. And you guys really wanted to see me play that DLC, and I was like, I don't want to play it. I'm busy with the hardcore gaming season and other games there. You see what I mean? Like, I was like, I just don't care. And then I went and played it and got destroyed. And I was like more annoyed than anything else because there were other games I wanted to play. Like, I don't think that boss was unfair. I think that I was not in the mindset to care to want to fight that boss. You see what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't give two shits about the DLC or the boss. I was just doing it because you guys were demanding it, and I didn't care, all right? Now, when I went back to replay Bloodborne years later, and I did my new run, and I played the DLC, not only did I beat Ludwig in the regular difficulty, but when I beat it, I then went into New Game Plus and ran back and fought him again and beat him at the New Game Plus difficulty. So I proved that if I wanted to, I could have beaten him, but I was just too in the mindset of hating on the game and not wanting to play it and wanting to do other shit that first time around. I don't feel the boss was an issue. I feel it was my mindset was an issue, and that's why that boss kicked my ass so much that first time around. Okay? So I blame myself. I blame myself for being pressured into playing the DLC I didn't care about. That's why I sucked so hard at that boss. Okay? Alright, so we're up to $26 in tips. Someone named Random Generosity just tipped me $1 and says, "Hello, Darkside Phil. If someone were to donate $50,000, how would that help you?" Well, do you want to know the truth? If someone were to give me $50,000 right now, about a third of that would be owed to the federal government. So what would that be? Let's just estimate $15,000 would be owed to the federal government, right? So that immediately I'd have to set aside for taxes, all right? What I would then do is I would take the remainder of that and I would say to the feds in July, all right, I know I owe you guys a bunch of money. I'd like to pay it off as much as I can. In truth, I don't even know what I owe because it's all been screwed up. I can't talk to them until freaking July about this anyway. But I would say, I would just like to pay it off and be square with you guys, right? And that would be tremendously positive. That would mean that you know, all that pressure and all that weight on my back about being in financial problems would finally be cleared up because I'd be starting fresh. That would be, you know, I don't owe anyone anything. You know, this year now I can work towards paying my current taxes properly. And that would be a huge thing for myself, for my family, to basically get out of that position where I'm worried about the future because I owe back taxes and I don't know how much I'm going to have to pay. And I don't know, you know, potentially back taxes can be really bad or really not that bad. It all depends. You know, I always have these worries. What if they're going to put a lien on my house? What if they're going to tell me now that they're going to garnish my income to try to take these taxes from the past 2 years that I couldn't pay because of the financial shit that was going on? You know, there's a big worry about that. So if I were to get this big, you know, generous chunk of income out of nowhere, I would 100% put it towards resolving the tax issue. Just being honest, okay? And hopefully it would. Hopefully it would be enough after taxes and everything. Hopefully it would be enough to appease the feds of what I owe them, which I don't know. But hopefully it would be enough and I'd be square and I'd be able to move forward, you know, positively and not have that constant fear in the back of my mind of what's going to happen come July, what's going to happen when I'm on more on payment plans or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen, okay? So there you go. And, you know, the truth of the matter is I'm sure this guy is probably not someone who was thinking of doing that. It's probably someone just nosy in my business, but I'm just being honest. You know, that's where I'm at this point with everything is, you know, you get past one hurdle, you're on to the next. And the next hurdle is I hope that I can get taxes back in line and be resolved and be square so that I don't have this as an ongoing thing for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? So there you go. Someone just asked the 8-Ball, do you have $50,000 hidden somewhere for Phil? I'm pretty sure no one has $50,000 hidden somewhere for me. Nor am I asking for that. That would be pretty ludicrously selfish to be asking for something insane like that. I'm just answering a question honestly here. Okay? All right, guys. Let us now give shout-outs and say thanks to those who contributed this week. All right? So first of all, thank you very much to the top cheerers of the week. I should bring up today is the last streaming day of the week. Tomorrow, this all resets. So if you're looking to possibly get up here on the leaderboard and get some not attention, but recognition for your contributions, you would have to contribute today because this will all reset tomorrow. Okay? So, let's see here. In 10th place, we've got King Andrew Tyrant. In 9th place, we've got The Children's Millions. In 8th place, Ryan. In 7th place, The Greedy Bachelor. 6th place is Snoozy Biku. 5th place, Ninstaru. 4th place, Red Spider-Man. Third place, Noah Taylor. Second place, Life's for Soul. And first place, Crap Cock. Congratulations, guys, on being the top cheering contributors of the week. Shout out also to those who have gifted subscriptions this week. Okay, we've got Yidden, VG Stuffed, Bugox, and Super Batcat, who have all contributed 1 sub this week. We've got Ryan, who contributed 2 subs this week. Big Papa Phil contributed 6 subscriptions this week. Lunaba gifted 10 subscriptions this week. And we have a tie between Randy O'Butternut and Golden Nobles, who each gifted 11 subs this week. So again, thank you guys so much for that support. All right. It's time to end a pre-stream, guys. And what we're going to do here is take a short break. I'm going to go use the restroom. And when I come back, we're going to start up today, as I stated, with Daymare. Okay, we're going to start up with Daymare 1998 and finish it up. I don't know how much is left. It could be potentially an hour, maybe less. We'll see. It could be more, but we've got time. We're going to finish up Daymare first. Then we're going to switch over to Banjo-Tooie, and we're going to finish up Banjo-Tooie on the stream. Okay? So double game completion today. I'm excited for this. I hope you guys are too. And I'll be back in just a little bit. All right, guys, thank you. And I'll be back in just a few minutes.